Hi, everyone. Good morning and happy Tuesday. Um, One of the things that I wanted to talk about today is really thinking about your diverse background. Like maybe you weren't a digital transformation expert for every career starting when you graduated from college. And how do you go into that next role feeling like an expert and framing your experience like an expert? And so I was actually just doing this with a client earlier today. This positioning and framing is literally one of the hardest things to do and one of the most important things to do. And so I actually had started my career nonprofit and I wanted to, um, I was like, I want more of a business world. And I'm already doing all these events with volunteer committees and no budget. So let me just think we're back. So I ended up figuring out like, oh, I'm working this job that I don't like. How am I going to frame it as something that would make sense for event support? So I kid you not, this is a very, very basic example. I was very young. I had moved to South America for a year to volunteer, and I came back with $100, and so I had no money. I wanted this job doing professional events in Chicago. I literally shared a bed with my sister. Like we went beyond like a room; it was a bed, and I rode my bike around Chicago and I looked for a job around Lincoln Park where I lived. And so I walked into restaurants because I had served in college. So I was like, I can do that. I'll make good money. And they were like, you could be a server assistant. And I was like, okay, I don't know what that is, but sure, sign me up. And so it was actually a busser, but it was at a Michelin star restaurant, which I was like, whoa, I'm not a foodie. But it was very, very cool in terms of the caliber of guests and like the dining experience. But I would literally do 9 courses with wine pairings for corporate events. Like, talk about project management. It was insane. Like, to have this flawless Michelin star experience and doing all of that. But I looked at the transferable skills, the level of project management, customer satisfaction, things that matter in events, and I was able to pull that together to make it really clear why I would be good at events. And I think that connection is the really, really hard thing to do. I actually did land a job doing events for PwC. Within a year, I was like staying in the Ritz Carlton for 2 weeks. So, like, framing matters so much in what you do and how to show up um, in a way that it's going to be easy for a hiring manager to understand how you help meet their goals. And so that's my challenge to you. I would go through every experience you've done and talk about the so what and why it matters to those roles. What skills matter? What was the so what and the what you did for the company? And so I think that that's the best thing to do, and it's going to make it so that your whole background makes sense. Now, the pair to that is that your position descriptions need to be indicative of what you did in that role so that it's easier for hiring managers to see. Now, I'm not saying to make yourself a VP, like, definitely don't play around with titles or anything like that. But having a title that makes it more clear in the work that you did and how it connects to your next job is going to be key. Um, all right, I think that's enough for one day, but message me if you have questions. I'm happy to help support. Okay.